I've known Bonnie on the internet for quite a few years now, and also for her friend Jim, who she tells me thinks the way I do. God help him. But anyway, there's two big stories in the news these days. One is the rioting in McDougal, Missouri, where a young thug was shot to death by a policeman, and naturally the blacks went crazy, which they do anytime anything like this happens. Now they didn't wait for any real facts to come out. They just decided to go on a crazy binge of rioting and looting, and when the investigation is completed and all the facts come out, they're going to feel pretty stupid, because I understand now that a dozen witnesses have come forward and back up the policeman's story. But they won't admit they were wrong. They'll still say that it was racism and blah blah blah. You know, the usual stuff they always say. The president has put his 2 cents in and said that some of it is because there's no economic opportunity for them. Well, if the president would get out of the way and stop stifling job creation, there might be some economic opportunity for them. The president won't okay the Keystone Pipeline. He won't okay drilling on federal land and on the continental shelf. If he did that, we'd have lots of oil to refine and export, and also natural gas. At the same time, he could encourage the automakers to start producing cars that run on natural gas, which would necessitate that service stations all across the country have infrastructure installed so they could dispense natural gas to these vehicles. Now, they would be very desirable in places like California, which suffer from severe air pollution, because a natural gas car only emits half of the pollution that a gasoline car does. But he won't do that because, oh, well, you know, he won't okay the pipeline because this billionaire Steyer in California said he would raise $100 million for Democrat candidates in the fall election. So our president accepted what amounts to a $100 million bribe in exchange for not okaying the pipeline. Now, I'd like to give a word of advice to the authorities in McDougal, which would cut down on the looting. It's just 4 words. All they have to do is announce this: looters will be shot. Period. But they probably won't take that advice anyway. I'm just a radical nut. Anyway, next we have the ISIS invasion of Iraq. They're going through Iraq and slaughtering people left and right. I mean, they're truly representatives of the religion of death, because that's what it is. If you don't agree with them, they kill you, period. So, sometimes they They just throw you in a hole and bury your lives. They do that too. But the president says we have to contain them. Contain them? We should annihilate them. This president, he doesn't know how to finish things. Or maybe he doesn't want to finish things. Uh, uh, Louis Armstrong years ago, when he was asked how a song should be played, he said, "Not too slow, not too fast, just kind of half-fast." And that's the kind of president we have, a half-fast president. These people are savages and should be killed, every one of them. No prisoners. They have to be wiped out. Now I got a couple of other things here I'd like to say. All the voting steps that have been taken in the past few years have been to make voting easier. This is absolutely the wrong way to go. As usual, the government screws everything up that they put their hands on. When I first voted, and I know I'm dating myself here, we had registration day. We didn't have permanent personal registration. Each election, you had to go and register. If memory serves me, this is many years ago now. If memory serves me, registration day was in August, but I'm not sure of that. But anyway, there was a separate registration day. And on election day, which was a good amount of time away from registration day, you went and voted. Now that period of time gave the Board of Elections enough time to weed out the illegal voters, and elections were much more honest in those days. But I think it's a much better system to not make everything so easy. And we should also limit campaign spending. I know the Supreme Court has allowed that they've decided that campaign contributions are a form of free speech. Just another idiotic decision by a bunch of lawyers. What are you going to do? But what we should do is, instead of getting all bound up in how much can be contributed, let people contribute all they want. The way to make elections more equal is to limit spending. My proposal would be that in a national election, which like for president, you shouldn't be able to spend more than 25 cents for all the voters who voted in the last presidential election. For instance, if there were 100 million votes cast for president in an election, in the next election, the presidential candidates wouldn't be allowed to spend more than 25 million. I think that's plenty. We wouldn't be driven crazy the last couple of months before the election with all the campaign commercials on TV. Give us a break. I guess that's about all for now. Bonnie, I hope you like this, and I hope Jim likes it. But we'll see. I'll be back, I think.